Now, Tsogo Sun is South Africa's single biggest buyer of auction wines. That's what brings us here to their Hyde Park hotel at the Southern Sun. We'll be looking at the investment case of what makes a good wine. So join us as we're about to uncork South Africa's finest wines. Right now I have with me Miguel Chan, and he is the group sommelier for Tsogo Sun. So he's basically the guy who attends the wine auctions here in South Africa and picks out the best wines. Now Miguel, when you are at the auction, what do you look for when picking out a quality wine? What makes a quality investment wine?
First and foremost, the key criteria we look into whenever we add a wine on our purchasing system is the quality. Quality of a wine, irrespective of the style, is non-negotiable. The other aspect we look at, which is also very relevant, is the brand perception. And third is, obviously, we buy wine to be sold, to be used, served, paired, poured with food. And wines need to have freshness. Fourth is about the fruit aspect. Obviously, wine is a product of nature. It's made out of grapes. Any good wine needs to have a fruit element. It needs to be fruit driven.
Now moving on to what makes the best brands when you're choosing at an auction. So throughout the afternoon today, as we were pairing the various foods with our wines, you were speaking about Merlot being one of the most popular brands here in South Africa. So what are the brands that you look out for when you're at the auction?
First and foremost, we look at the analysis. We look at how the market is performing, what are the consumers drinking, what are the trends, how do we measure that? There are many parameters. It could be Nielsen, it could be figures from Vinpro, figures from the wine industry itself, and we also use and we have the support from our key accounts, from our key distributors, key suppliers, about understanding pockets even within region. So by understanding those four markets and understanding the preferences of the consumer, there's always a pattern in terms of consumption. What variety sells the most?
How do South African wines rank with their peers in Europe and in North America, for instance?
If we look at how the quality of South African wine have changed in the last 15 years, even more so in the last 5 years, is nothing short of a miracle. The country always had the potential to produce greatness. If we look back 300 years ago, Napoleon, on his deathbed, requested to have Klein Constantia, Vin de Constance, delivered on his deathbed where he was on exile. And that shows you how profound and how deeply anchored the wine tradition of this country have been. We've seen the advent of a new generation of winemakers. We've seen technology playing a role. We've seen how, over the years, the farmers have got to realize, and winemakers, and viticulturists, which is the person responsible of growing the grapes, that great wines are made in a vineyard. Great wines are not made in a cellar. South Africa is at the forefront of sustainability worldwide when we look at how we preserve nature, how we preserve pockets of land, alongside the vineyards, which is endorsed by all the green organizations around the world. And these are very, very positive for the future and for the development of the industry.
What kind of innovations are you seeing in the wine space presently?
First and foremost, the industry has gone towards a natural approach of winemaking, using less and less additives into the winemaking process. Because winemaking, simply termed, is the fermentation of grape juice. However, to produce a consistently good wine, there are other elements that are added to the juice. It could be acid, it could be tannin, it could be the removal of alcohol to make the wines lighter. It could be the addition of water, which is also result into either greater volume or lighter style. But what the winemakers have come to understand, and the viticulturists as part of the innovation, is if they look after the vine, which is the plant, and if they start harvesting meticulously according to a certain time frame, there is no need to add those additives.
And Miguel, in many industries we associate price with quality. Is it the same in the wine industry, whereby the more expensive a bottle of wine is, the more quality that bottle of wine is?
Price have never been an indication of quality as far as a bottle of wine is concerned. It only applies to a handful of wine, which is predominantly European, a few culled Californian wines, and one or two culled Australian wines, where we are looking at an average price of 40,000 rand a bottle at the top end of it. As far as other parts of the world is concerned, It's usually influenced by the marketing of the product. And I would always advise and urge consumers, do not ever believe that if you're entertaining at home, your 40, 60, 80 rand bottle of wine is not worth to be on the table, and go and buy a bottle of wine or a couple or a case that's worth 200 rand, 300 rand, that it's of a better quality. It's not. It's about choosing carefully. It's about using apps like Vivino, which is the biggest wine app in the world. When you look at it, in 5 years, they had nearly 25 million users worldwide that's being, which using this app to guide them into their wine selection process. And looking at it is trust their own taste. See what they like, taste a lot.
We've had a fantastic afternoon today tasting wines of all varieties, from white to red, which is what I'm currently drinking. In fact, I think I'm heading towards that legal limit, which is the perfect time to sign off. It has been great being with you. From me, Fifi Peters, it is bye for now. Cheers.